So if you haven't noticed yet, I moved out. Guess what? Your boy can cook rice too, you know? So if you guys haven't figured out yet, I moved out. I'm still in Vancouver, but I'm living on my own. And in this video, I will be talking about exactly how much I pay for rent, what type of renting is around in Vancouver, what is the price range, are you paying too much, are you paying too little, did you get a great steal? And the reality is, to be able to live in the city, you may need to make at least 6 figures to live comfortably, and I'm nowhere even close to that, unfortunately. Or am I? So throughout all my other videos, people are like, where are you from? And if you don't know yet, by my Canadian accent, I'm Canadian. And I was born and raised in Vancouver, British Columbia, Columbia Britannique of Canada in Vancouver, which is known as, I think, one of the top 10 greenest cities and most beautiful cities in the world, being a very landscape by the water. You have the mountains, but it is also in the top 10 of one of the most unaffordable places to live in the world. To break it down of how the greater Vancouver area is that let's think of it like a little mini country, right? So within Vancouver, it's also known as the Greater Vancouver Regional Area. So you break it down into different suburbs. You have places like downtown, which will cost you anywhere from roughly $2,000 plus. You're looking at $2,500 for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condominium. And if you move around to, let's say, more on the west side, we're talking about like Kitsilano. Places here are a little bit more affordable because the places are older in terms of the buildings. So you're looking anywhere from 1,600 to still 2,000 if you're looking more of a newer condo. And you can also look around at other more affordable places within the city, like let's say East Hastings, or we're looking at Hastings Sunrise, which you can find any condo for roughly around 17 to 1,800. So to get the bigger scopes, the TLDR of renting prices in Vancouver is that downtown is going to be the most expensive. You're looking at anywhere from $2,000 bare minimum for just a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, and this does not include things like internet, utilities, a parking spot if you drive. But if you break it out into suburbs, another way of how you can be more affordable is you live within a house. So that means either the landlord lives above you or they just manage the building, but it is a house. So a way to cut down in terms of living expenses is if you were to live in a house, you would knock off easily an extra $500. So you're wondering, Peter, where did you decide to live and where was your hood? All right, before getting super stalkerish, I've always been within the suburbs of Vancouver, never within the downtown city because congestion as well as other things, and I'm closer to my family. So this exact place that I'm paying for is, drumroll please, $1,400. So I am paying $1,400 for a 2-bed, 1-bath place, and you're wondering, do you have a roommate? Why'd you do for 2? Well, I think y'all can figure that out. But that is not including things like, let's talk about my expenses, right? Let's talk about if you drive, if you have a car, right? That's already another 2 to even 300, 250 a month, right? So that's already, you're looking at 1,400 plus 250, you're looking at 1,650. And then on top of that, we're talking about groceries, right? And I try to limit my groceries around $70 to $100 a week on average, but let's round it off to $80 a week. $80 a week times 4 is 320. So right now I have my personal chauffeur that's gonna take us grocery shopping. We made it. Good job, guys. We're opening at here's me being an adult. Over here we have is the lovely frozen products. So 1650 plus 320, right? So that you're looking at 2000 already, and that's not including things like my car insurance yet. So as well as your internet, as well as if you have to pay for your phone bills. So roughly a total sum of we're looking at 2,500 expenses just to live in Vancouver, right? 2,500. You know what you can do with 2,500 over 12 months? We're looking at, what is that? But that's so expensive, you might ask. But of course, there are workarounds in this city. It means looking for better deals. It means, hey, living with a partner or a roommate. Some people live with 3 roommates. So let's say you take a $2,000 place, split that up by 3, and this is really challenging my math, but it's a lot cheaper. As well as you can find houses instead of condos. You can have things like figuring out budget friendly options for groceries. You don't have to have a car. You don't have to like pay insurance. So that's another like $10,000 from the car, another $300 you can save each month from things like your day-to-day living expenses. Is another thing that I discovered living alone is that it is freaking exhausting. And as you can't tell by the lost weight and the look in my eyes, it's that I haven't been creative because living alone, where it's like you don't have a partner to help you tag team chores, doing everything yourself, working and then cooking and figuring out, man, I would not make a good prisoner because I would need to eat the same thing every day, and that is not my cup of tea, you know what I mean? So right now what I'm gonna be making is something called balok. So I need the beef. At first there was the novelty of like, yes, right, I get to pick and buy whatever it is that I want, and then I need to cook it. I know I sound so privileged, but trust me, it is exhausting, right? Figuring out what to cook as well as what is it that I need to eat for the week, and then I need to meal prep for the week next week after. But if I'm lazy, there are times where I do go out here and there, but having the mental capacity to figure out what should I eat next week? What should I buy? And how I'm going to go to the grocery store and figure out what it is I need to buy. But if you're making a lot more money, hence the 100K mark number, is that you can do things like meal prepping and you outsource that to someone else where they give you the meals. But we in Vancouver here, we ain't bougie like that, you know what I'm saying? This tour coming soon, let me know. Let me know. It's made me a lot more humble living alone, where I can actually start to appreciate things more, like relationships and communicating to having a decent set of people that I can talk to now. It makes me appreciate my parents a lot more. Because one thing that I've taken away from this is that you grow up realizing how much you resent and how much you can't communicate and how your parents treated you. But as you get older and you grow up and you start living on your own and you realize, damn, adulting is hard, my dude. And then you have so much more humbleness for your parents because you're able to see them as humans. And the fact that they did all of whatever they came with nothing, and the fact that, man, they did this without even knowing English. But yeah, that is my little rebuttal and my little reflection about what's it actually like living alone. And now that I've finally decided there is no more of that shame where it's like, yeah, I can do it, man. I always knew that I could do it. But also understanding, man, living alone, having a job, having a gig, making money, as well as taking care of yourself, food, cook, clean, doing the chores, maintaining the place that you live in, as well as try to chase your dreams, that is a lot of things to ask for. And you realize that why people live day to day is because that's all they know. And even for me to try to go things and do things and beyond, it's a lot to ask from people, where it's like you only know what you know until you go through it. But I know for sure this experience will definitely help me in my next adventure in life. But I'm not gonna spill the tea on that yet.